Today we are going to learn how to make our own kitchen island, and you will be surprised how easy this is. And I wanted a piece that looked like an old piece of furniture, and I had this thing in my basement since I bought the house. It was just sitting down there, and I thought one day, well, I can make that into a kitchen island. And so I drug that thing upstairs, which was probably the hardest part of this entire project, was to bring that upstairs by myself. And I started painting it after I cleaned it off. You can see in parts there it was pretty dirty. So I painted this thing, and I painted it white to match the kitchen. And then I started adding a little detail here and there. Here it's all painted and fixed up. I had to straighten it up here and there. So as you can see, the type of wood this was made out of, which is that compressed composite wood, isn't necessarily smooth, so I had to come up with ways to hide that and or fix that, which I did, and which we'll be looking at in a second. Like for the sides, I picked out paneling, and I had these pieces of wood, carved wood, on each side, and I had those in the house because I was going to use them for something else, and I think those look pretty nice. And of course they got painted white. So I attached my paneling and I attached my carved wood to the piece, but we're not done yet. We had to make little pillars in the front, and you can see the little pillars are finished. And I came up with a way to cover the front, which was a curtain, and that'll work for now. I may put doors on it one day, but it works for now. So you can see we're getting closer, but we're not quite finished yet. I started working on the top to make that smooth, because you don't want a rough surface on the top of your kitchen island. So we got a couple of coats of this joint compound, and you have to take your sponge and smooth that out so you don't have any lines in it or anything. And as you can see in a second, we have done that. And ours doesn't have to be totally perfect because I decided I wanted to marbleize the top, make it look like a piece of marble. That just makes my kitchen island look better. So we have to paint over our plaster again. And then we get to start on the fun part, which is the marbleizing. So I took a few different colors. I took black and gray and even a little brown. And I started just wiping that onto my surface, as you can see. And marble tends to go in lines. Well, the type of marble I wanted anyway. And you just kind of blend that in. You don't want it to stand out too much. And then you get to the detail with your little brush. Take a little brush and make fine lines in it. Fine dark lines, but you don't want a lot. You don't want to go crazy in there. So here we go with our little brush, making our fine lines. And you can see they're subtle. You want to keep them subtle. You don't want anything too jarring. Unless you like jarring, and go for it. So I put my lines on there and I blended them in with my little brush, and I think it's starting to look very nice and very much like marble, don't you think? And this doesn't take any time at all, and it's the fun part, as I said. So here we are with our finished marble, and then I gave it 2 coats of polyurethane just to make sure we didn't chip it or anything, you know, because it is a kitchen island, so it's going to have things on it. And there we are, all done and all polyurethaned. So now we have to finish our kitchen island with some molding, which I also just happen to have. There it is. Isn't that nice? That's a very nice piece of marble there. So I had molding left over from yet another project, and we're going to put that around the top and around the front. The front was the feet I just did in cut pieces of wood, which I also had some of those because I was going to use those for something else. But they made for good little feet. In the front, so we have our pillars on our kitchen island, and that makes it look really classy. So as you can see here, we painted our feet, painted everything white, and then I filled in all the spaces in between all of our little pieces of wood with caulk, just so you don't get these little lines and spaces everywhere. Has to be all filled in, and that makes it look like all one thing. Caulk gives it a finished look, and then you paint it over the caulk, of course. So in this next photo, you can see how close we're getting. Those feet are finished and painted. And I think next is the molding that went around the, there we are. There's our molding. And I put a little towel rack on it. And molding went across the front, as you can see where the curtain hangs. So the curtain came down a little bit lower. And look at that top. And there we are, all finished. And I hope you want to try this. I really hope you want to subscribe for more, because I have more and more ideas that I'll just keep putting up. So thank you for watching, and take a look at that nice kitchen island.